Okay, so when the health history form comes to you, it's going to look something like this. The first thing you're going to do is check to make sure that the patient has answered all of the questions. So for example, in this form, they have missed question 67. So you would need to ask your patient to answer that question. The next step would be to go to the yes answers and circle all of those answers in red. So you'd come here, circle this in red. They marked asthma, so we circle asthma in red. You'll then ask all of your OPQRST questions to your patient and you'll write their response on the form. So let's say you've asked them all of their questions. After interviewing them, you'll write the response to their question just in the white space on your form. In this case, you would still need to ask the interview questions for question number 16. But to simplify, we're just going to document for the asthma. Some things you'll write will always be the same. So for every entry, you're always going to write the date, HH is the code, and you can refer to your treatment record prototype for an example. Then you're going to write the chief concern. The chief concern can be found by reviewing their answer to letter U. You should then leave a space for their vitals. Usually, you complete the health history interview and then go back and take vitals after the interview is over. But that way, you can just write it in that space. Then you also need an entry for their RAD history. By reviewing the treatment record prototype, you can find what should be written in the RAD history. It's the date of the patient's last full mouth series, bite wings, and panoramic radiographs. And this is the example of the treatment record prototype. RAD history information can be found by looking at what your patient wrote under letter S of the health history form. And now you're ready to write the answers from any yes answers on the treatment record. You take the number, so asthma was number 36. I'm going to write number 36 and write the outcome of the responses my patient gave me on asthma. Every health history needs to end with a treatment alteration line. You'll see the treatment alterations should say none or any deviation from standard procedures required to treat the patient, and also must have student and CI signatures. So you can see I've written up the information on asthma and I've written a treatment alteration line. Encouraged patient to bring inhaler to visits, and then signed. First name, last initial, and student number. That must be signed before it gets taken to your instructor. You must also determine the ASA classification for your patient. Some conditions are listed, but not all. Use these recommendations to help you decide. This case, exercise-induced asthma, is listed under ASA category number 3. You can also consult the condition if listed in your clinic manual to make sure that you got all of the information. ASA condition should be written in the top left, and medical alert is written in the top right. You should always write the condition needing the alert and what should be done for that patient, different than the average patient under treatment alterations. If this were the only condition, this is now complete. Student signature is here. You should also be sure that patient has signed and dated, student has signed and dated. Your instructor, you should ask your instructor to sign and date the instructor lines when going over with your CI.